Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
It's nice meeting you, John.
Yeah. I got it.
We have met here in India. What do you think about the collaboration, linkages, meetings?
I think you can't overemphasize the value of meeting face to face. I think we all have the opportunity through the internet, through conversations, through conference calls to talk and try to formulate ideas and collaborative opportunities. But meeting face to face, being able to sit down with someone and really understand what they do and help them to get a better understanding of what you do and search for ways to collaborate and create leverage is fundamental, and it's one of the real keys to success, I think, of these types of meetings.
Vijay?
Yeah, sure. In fact, collaboration is the key where Ashoka tries that if everybody is a change maker, then how collaboratively can more number of people or fellows indeed can scale up the work that they are trying to do at a much larger level. Maybe it's an idea that could be scaled, or it's a work that could be scaled beyond the limit of the reach of each other's work that we see.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's pretty easy to be overwhelmed by the scale of the different kinds of activities that are here if you were to just read this or look it up on a web page, to try to go from the solid waste management to training rats to sniff out landmines to mobile telephony.
Yeah.
But if you can actually sit and have these conversations in person, you can process a lot more of it. And you can begin to see the things that connect it, which is primarily, I think, the focus on the beneficiaries and the focus on the social aspects of the enterprise.
I think it's also helped us in terms of really being able to face the real challenges. Because when I'm back in Nairobi, and I think I'm the only social change maker struggling all the way. And yesterday we had a session here on trades in Africa. And after the session in the evening, the African team from 7 countries met yesterday. And it was amazing what we came up with. Africans without border, as a pool of expertise on different fields, medicine, engineering, urban planning. And we are hoping to have that pool like a platform in Africa, trying to bring out the expertise and the experience, practical experience from every individuals, and bring it out there to the consumer, because those are the guys who need this knowledge most. The communities, the government, the civil society, who are struggling, looking for answers. So to me, I think really it's a valuable experience being here and meeting different people, not only in Africa, but globally, sharing what Greg is doing and other colleagues in different fields, from IT, when we are talking about basic of toilet and sanitation, and we are hearing about IT trends. And we still need to catch up. And how do we make toilets to that level of innovation of IT? I don't know. John?
Well, I think one of the benefits to doing this in person is that when you leave, you actually have the ability to have those conversations, and you know when someone's being sarcastic, when someone's having fun with you, and when someone's being serious. And being able to make those connections, like I was in the Trends on Africa panel yesterday, and it was, I talk a lot, and I actually wound up listening the entire time, because it's a chance to hear so much from so many different pieces of the puzzle. And so the hope would be that if you can break down some of those barriers, make some of those personal connections, and then each of you can actually take those back into your own daily lives and into your own work. And you're not going to have any of the misunderstandings that would come if you tried to meet solely over the internet. I think that's one of the things you only get in a face-to-face meeting. That's why we all get on planes and travel a long way in order to be here.
Sure. In fact, I had an exciting time meeting so many people, and somehow link up with them to understand what they're trying to do. And they suddenly realize that during the discussions we are having on the kind of work we are doing, that does match up with what they are trying to do. Say for example, there's a club, they are looking at scaling up their work on water awareness, but they forgot, somehow just misplaced that notion that information technology can actually help them scale up that work in a much larger fashion to reach out to a larger...
The link between water and IT.
Yeah, it's never thought of, but that did stuck, and then now hopefully we'll be working together, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that to add to all of that, the overall sense that you get of being in a peer group and you're out working in Nairobi, and I'm working in Guatemala and working in India, and you've got your head down and you're doing your thing, and then to be able to come together with people who share the same challenges and the same goals and objectives, and be able to exchange best practices and learn from each other, and learn that our challenges and the needs that we're trying to address are unfortunately universal, but to try to come up with ways to tackle this together.
But again, then I think also the bigger challenge is we almost now come into realization of the global village, the world being this small, But again, to our poor communities in India, in Africa, deep inside, they don't see the other world. Yeah. And that's why climate change is gonna hit us in a bad way. So I think there's need either using the IT and other mode of communication to ensure that our people also see the reality. Because with this globalization and really we are all together now. Whether you're polluting in China, it still affects the poor woman in Africa. So again, some of these challenges we are able to discuss really and share experiences, and that I think goes a long way in terms of when we go back. These are the messages that we need to tailor.
I think one good thing about meeting in person is one of the discussions I was having was on a game. That how game allows you to have a interactive community which you have never met, you have never known, but still the common purpose of winning the game makes you collaborate with each other much more effectively than ever does. It's a very nice notion of that how that the idea of a game or idea of the trust that you build up in the game is leading for you towards collaborating together to find a social challenge and try to find an answer for that challenge, which is something I discussed with the group, and it was fascinating. I never have been interested in the video games area, online games area, but the discussion was fascinating on the front that it builds trust, and the good part of Ashoka Group as a global village is that the trust is already there, implicit in the process that we go through, the gruesome process that we go through to become a fellow in the first place. Then that trust is automatically there. Oh, this guy has also been through that process, and that I think is the process-based innovation which generates the trust.
The initiation process.
It initiates the collaboration, I think. Would you agree?
Good.
Great. That was awesome.
Cool.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
It's nice meeting you, John.
Yeah.